Hey everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is Sunday, March 31st, 2024, and it is Easter Sunday, so happy Easter to everyone that celebrates. And I'm coming on today, I couldn't decide which deck to go with, so I just shuffled all three decks and all these messages started to pop out. So we are going to talk about what came out and then we'll see where it takes us. But there's so many things that I wanted to talk about today. And one of the most important things, piggybacking from last week's message, and if you didn't listen to that, I would really encourage you to do so. It was a very powerful message and it came through because it was necessary. And what's coming through continuing from last week is the fact that we are coming off of that full moon and we are heading into this huge full eclipse on April 8th. We're heading into Mercury retrograde on April 1st. And from that point of the full moon to the point that we're coming up to of the full eclipse is a very powerful energy, a powerful portal. And sometimes even when I listen to people that speak in the spiritual community about portals, I can't quite visualize what that actually means. I mean, I have an idea, and you might feel the same way. Like, what does that actually mean, a portal? But what it really means is you have the opportunity to really visualize and manifest what it is that you want to create in your life, like that. Okay? You have the energy is coming in, and it's coming in so super fast and so super strong that the ability to create is also amplified. It's accelerated. So it's so very important at this time to really monitor what you're taking in physically, taking in mentally, taking in emotionally, taking in spiritually. And that also includes what you're watching. So that is the first thing I want to discuss is what are you watching, whether it's on the computer, on the phone, on the television. I have found this for myself, so I am speaking from my own heart and my own opinion, but you may feel the same way as me. I find that what I'm finding lately is that what keeps coming into my, before I even say what I'm going to say, I want to say this also. Because we have all these thoughts that come in, everything is energy. So do you ever notice that you're thinking about something and all of a sudden there it is on the screen and you're like, how the hell did that happen? I was thinking it, I wasn't even speaking it, and there it was. Everything is truly energy, and those that are the dark energies, the dark forces behind all of the evil that is really showing itself to us lately are aware of what I'm talking about. They act like they're not. They have made society believe it's not possible. Most people are in that conglomerate of just being followers, sheep-like, and just doing what they're told. But the reality is that the energy of energy and the fact that you have the ability to create from that energy is factual. So what they've done is they've manipulated and made you believe that it's not possible when in fact it really is. And I really need to say that to you guys, because if you don't believe that, I want you to really let that sit with you for a minute. Why don't you believe that? I'm sure if you're watching this though, you're probably one of my clients or you're someone that's been following me and knows that whatever you think somehow, some way, or visualize or see or have a premonition about eventually comes into your space. It may not be exactly how you imagined it, but it happens. And it's pretty mind-blowing because we have been taught in society that that's not the case. It is the case. Okay, so back to what I was saying. I'm finding that all these things that are coming into my social media is what I'm going to use is all of this stuff telling us that everything that we put into our bodies food-wise is bad. You know, everything you use on your body is bad. Every time you think you're doing something right, then you find out there's an ingredient that's causing inflammation or causing you a problem or causing you a health risk or causing you a scare. And I get that the information is important, But what is concerning to me is that the more that we think about it, or the more that we look at this stuff, the more that we continue to look at it and we perpetuate it. So today, what I'm coming on to share with you guys through this message is that sometimes too much information is too much. And it's good to have awareness and it's good to have knowledge, but it gets to the point where it's on overload and it can make you crazy. So we're in this energy portal from March, whatever the date was, March 25th through April 8th, of an acceleration of energy, of the fact that you can really do one of two things. Visualize and create everything that you want to bring into your life, and it will happen. Have the belief that it will happen. Don't say, how is that going to happen? No, because that's a negative energy. That's a negative frequency. It will happen. The change is going to happen. Or think about all of the things that you want to get rid of in your life that have been weighing you down like an anchor, that are no longer serving you. We have two ways in which we can use this energy. You have a choice in which way you want to use the energy, but no matter what you choose, I want you to keep a very open mind and be very conscious of where your mind is going. Is it in a positive state? You're ridding yourself of these things because you need to finally clear them, and that's for your best and highest good. Or I'm bringing in these things because I deserve them and it's in my best and highest good. Everybody's going to land differently in that. But know that this energy is very, very potent. Okay? So I want you to be very mindful of that. And whatever you're looking at, so back to, if I'm like not making sense, I want to make sense as to why I brought up what I was sharing with social media. It's because I am noticing that I'm like, oh, I thought this was a good ingredient. It's not a good ingredient. Okay, let me get rid of it. This is in my mind. I'm not speaking out loud. And all of a sudden, here comes something else that's showing me yet again, something else I thought was good is not good. And this stuff keeps coming in because I am manifesting it to come to me, which is not maybe positive. It's more of a negative, weighing me down, feeling like I'm not doing a good job. So I want you to understand how the energy really works. And even if it's not something you speak out loud, because it's an invisible thing, it can be manipulated as well. So you have to be very focused on where your mindset is at. Now, putting all of that aside, and hopefully all of that made sense to you guys, what I'm seeing a lot of also is how, and I also had this thought in my head recently, do you notice that all of a sudden, all over the place, you're hearing about about the eclipse that's coming up, and how, like they're talking about things that could possibly happen because of it. So here we go again with the energy. You've never ever heard, ever, them talk about the eclipses or astrology in general because it's woo-woo or it's BS or give me a break. That's typical for society. Why is it all of a sudden happening now that they're talking about it everywhere I look, on the television, everywhere? I'm like, this is unbelievable. Are they preparing us for something? Are they planning on manipulating, yes, something else? Remember what I said in the beginning of this. They've always known that astrology and all of the things are actually helpful to us, but have made it seem like it's not. And if you go back to last week's message, it was a very similar message as well. The first thing I want to say to you is don't get swept into the fear. It has always been this way. These eclipses and all the energies and everything and the portals and all the stuff has always been there. This is not the first time. It's the first time they're making it so-called known. But remember who you are. And you are a child of God, the Creator. And you have the same gifts that everybody else has. And you have the ability to put an invisible, think of the dogs with the invisible fence. I don't have a dog, so I don't know much about it. But I want you to visualize an invisible fence around you of protection. That no matter what does or does not happen, You are protected. You can do this all the time, and you should be doing this at least, I'm hearing 4 times a day. I don't know where that number came from, but okay, you're listening to this, whoever you are. 4 times a day, I want you to put that invisible fence of pure white light around you as protection. I call in Archangel Michael, and I send him everywhere I would like him to go, and I thank him in advance and anybody of white light that he wants to take with him. But of course, he is the divine archangel of strength, courage, and protection. I call him in as well. You can do the same. His color of light is blue, a nice, beautiful, dark blue. Call him in. But remember, don't get caught up in the fear. Don't get caught up in the fear mongering. There's a fine line between awareness and fear. And I don't want you getting caught up in fear. Okay? So that's why I'm bringing all of this up to you today in today's message, because whatever does or does not occur, know that you are protected. Don't get caught up in the fear. Be aware, but always be calling in your protection. So we have 3 cards that popped out of these 3 decks because I couldn't decide which deck to use. So we're going to use these 3 cards. And 2 of them are upside down, and they're very important. And the first one is patience and planning. And so this card is coming up because 7 is a number of spiritual growth and spiritual ascension. And that is actually one of the main things that's happening within this portal of energy. There's a lot that's coming in so fast. And if you're experiencing the fatigue, the pain in the body, or specific vulnerable areas in your body, like for me, I have a headache today, so that's why you're not seeing my face. And I haven't had one in a while, but this is what happens, especially during these times of energy, is that I get this. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no pill I can take. It's something I have to go through. It's something that just happens with my body, and I have to lean into it and surrender. And I have to have patience that whatever is happening for me, not to me. And if you're going through that, I want you to think about that as well. But the other part of it is having patience in that more light is entering this earth, coming through these portals, coming through these times like the eclipse, to wash away, first to put light on the dark, but then to actually get rid of it. Because it's time for it to finally go. It's time for it to move on. It's time for us to have a completion of all of this ugly energy. That doesn't mean it's going away, goodbye, and you're never seeing it again. That means that the more you're opening up yourself to it with all of the light, the more it's exposing itself to finally leave for good. But when more light is entering the earth and entering our physical bodies, it's sometimes hard for our bodies physically to hold it. And the light comes in and exposes, just like in the big world, in the grand scheme of darkness, exposes the vulnerabilities that we might have in our body that need to be cleared out because it's time to go. The karmic ties, the energetic ties, the beliefs that we have, it's time for them to exit. So I want you to be aware of that and be patient with yourself and be patient with the process. And be patient in general, knowing that you're actually having a clearing. Your focus is these 2 things. To focus on nourishing yourself in whichever way, whether it's sleep, whether it's reading, whether it's actively walking, whether it's nourishing your body with the right foods, with drink like water, a lot of nourishment for hydration. Your only job is to focus on your health and be loving and kind to yourself and nurture yourself through the process. Another card that came upside down. Treat yourself like you are a baby. Take really good care of yourself. You're putting the light white around you and you're focusing on your health, and that's the most loving thing that you can do for yourself at this time. The angels are all around us. Please call them in. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure if anything's going to happen on April 8th. I'm not here to predict. That's not what I do. I'm here to help you guys to work through the energies. And I want you to know that you can. So for today, take a nice deep inhale and exhale and do this every day for yourself. Call in that white light, that fence of protection, and call in Archangel Michael and his team to also support and protect you during this time that we're here on earth. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.